Welcome back to Pokemon Colosseum. Last time we defeated Gonzap in the Snag'em hideout, and we got the D-Disc for the Under's UFO. And we have an email again. So let's go ahead and check out P-Star DA. Like I said earlier, we're getting way more emails in the post-game than we're getting in the main story. So, who is this? Bit from the Under. Taking photos the other day when we saw this guy. This guy with this amazing head. That's kind of a weird thing to say about someone else. Singing this weird song. Something about the Colosseum being his new place. Oh. Well, that's interesting. We know where that guy was going, and we obviously know who that guy is. Remember how I said that Mirabee running off at Welcome Tower was the last we'd be seeing of him during the main story, but not the last we'd be seeing of him, period? This is why. We just rematched Gonzap. We're going to be facing some other familiar faces here. I mean, there had to be a way for you to be able to rematch the boss Shadow Pokemon in case you failed to snag them both times you got the chance to during the main story. Anyway, where is my, where's the disc? I probably should sort all the discs, but anyway. We can use the D-Disc. System set for travel in the downward direction. How can you get any deeper than the Under? Well, we'll see. What is below the Under? Yeah, we've got this really dimly lit, dark basement with this thing. Firstly, though, we're going to do a bit of a detour. We're going to pick this up. We get one steel teeth. Remember that guy in the Under who we couldn't understand what he was saying? Finally, we can do something about that side quest. With that, we're going to need to insert the F-Disc again. You kind of wish there was an easy way to do this. But anyway, where is it? F-Disc, there we go. Forward direction. We're actually going to be using another disc as well after all of this. Because, just as a hint, we're finally going to be getting that item all the way over there. Finally, chest completion. So let's talk to this guy. My thief. So, we can hand over the steel teeth. This is obviously a reference to the Safari Zone Warden back in Generation 1. Pokemon theme tongue twisters, nice. So, for getting his teeth back, we get the L-Disc. Seems like there are multiple copies of each of these discs. Huh. Well, that thing's probably been down there for a long time. You probably should have washed it before you put it in your mouth. But anyway, we now have all of the discs for the UFO. We can now go forward, left, right, up, and down. Yeah, there's no B disc, because if you tried to go backwards, you'd probably smash the platform. So we can use the L disc now. The L disc only exists for one purpose. And you're about to find out what that purpose is. It's to get this item all the way over here. And what is this item, you may ask? Well, if this would stop moving... We're going to be getting a better camera angle? Yeah, we are. Okay. All this is for is to get this one... I don't know why this all... Like, what's the purpose of a disc that only exists to get to this tiny little platform? But anyway, we get this item, and it is... one amulet coin. This always felt weird to me. We're only getting the amulet coin now, in the post-game. For those who don't know, this doubles the prize money you get from battles if a Pokemon is holding it that participates. Why didn't you get this during the main story? I just feel, it's annoying that they restricted this to the post-game. To give you an idea, when I knew the amulet coin was over there, and I knew you needed to retrieve that guy's teeth in order to get it, but I didn't know that there was a post-game quest. I was looking up where you got the teeth, and it turns out that you need the D-Disc, and I was just like, what? I don't know, am I the only one who's just really confused at the fact that they made the amulet coin post-game only? Because, really, money is the least of your concern at this point. You don't really need to buy that many more items. But anyway, it's time to approach this, this thing right here. Looking at this, it reminds me of, there was a magazine walkthrough for this game that I remember actually quite fondly. Okay, I just realized that we're going in here. I want to make sure that I have Pokemon first in my party that are good at fighting Ludicolo. Yeah, you probably already know what's coming just from that. But that guide talked about how the Snag'em hideout looked like it had the most intimidating front door in the world. And then it showed a screenshot of this later on and said, on second thoughts, this is the most intimidating front door in the world. And look at that. That's pretty cool. So, what is this, you might ask? This is a reception? So this is an underground Colosseum that was in the old mine, probably back where that person made their fortune in the Under's mines. Yeah, that was, again, that could have been Evice, but it also could have been someone from XD as well. So yeah, this is the Deep Colosseum. The one Colosseum in this game that's not available in battle mode, although admittedly the battle mode's Aura Colosseum is not available in story mode, so it kind of balances out. So, let's enter a knockout challenge. Yes, we've got one more Colosseum challenge to enter. This works just like the optional Colosseum fights we did during the storyline, so you can still use items, gain experience, what have you. We need to fight here. Cypher's admins are bearing their fangs for us, so it is time for Battle 1. Got all these pipes everywhere. It does look kind of cool. Actually reminds me a little bit of the second warp room in Crash Bandicoot 2. Third warp room. Yeah, we need to beat Gonzap to get here. I think it's implied Gonzap probably, he probably fought down here if he had a D-Disc. Zangoose and Tropia, so the levels here are pretty high. But it's nothing we can't handle. I mean, we've beaten Gonzap after all. Jumpluff is not exactly going to be the best option to start out here. But Suikun's going to do great against that Tropius. I suppose I can just try and get around the Zangoose. And yeah, your opponents won't always be using... Because if there's like a real Colosseum challenge, they'll all be using 4 Pokemon, and you'd only get to bring in 4. Yeah, there's my low special attack showing there. I feel like this Jumpluff must have a really high IV for attack, because, that's a weird move for you to be using. Because it's surprisingly high for only a 55 base. I know I have a naughty nature, but it looks like it's really... Did you survive that? Well, you did, but it doesn't matter. I'm getting really lucky with freezes in this playthrough for some reason. Even though this is double not very effective, this will probably still KO you. Guess I can use Surf for good measure, or I can just try and Ice Beam the Zangoose and probably try and go for another freeze. You might be able to see the Zangoose using Razor Wind too. Now, yeah, the reason why Zangoose can learn Razor Wind, it's kind of lost in translation. Razor Wind in Japanese is called Kamaitachi, which is named after a particular type of Japanese yokai. I think it's a yokai. It's a mythological creature. It's a weasel that carries a sickle that I think lives inside whirlwinds that slices things. So, hence the reason why Zangoose can learn it is because it's a weasel. That's why Sneasel and Weavile can learn it. In fact, Sneasel and Weavile are based directly on Kamaitachi. I forgot that it hits both Pokemon in a double battle. I remember when I got the Razor Wind TM in the, in Generation 1, I always thought it was such a cool move. I mean, it's not a great move, but it's a cool one in concept. Yeah, 2-turn moves usually aren't that worth it, especially not Razor Wind. Like, for a 2-turn move, Razor Wind is pretty weak. I think it's only 70 power. I think it has a high critical hit ratio, but I'm not entirely sure about that. It's kind of like how a lot of sources erroneously state that Sky Attack either has a high critical hit ratio or a chance to flinch. I don't think it has either, but I could be wrong. I know that at least one of its descriptions throughout the series has been wrong. Sky Attack, I mean, not Razor Wind. So, I couldn't one-shot a Pokemon that I was double super effective against, like 4 times effective against, and I one-shotted a Pokemon that I was only singly super effective against. Still could have had attack status equal to Jumpluff's defenses. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, weird logic. And I'm okay with just spamming Giga Drain here, because I get healed after every battle. But yeah, Kamaitachi shows up in quite a few bits of Japanese media, and almost always it gets localized to something like Razor Wind. I think in Naruto it's called Wind Scythe Jutsu. I know that because I think my sister met Tara Platt at a convention. She got a Tamari thing signed and it had Wind Scythe written on it. This is a very, very strange tangent to go on, but when I play one of the Naruto fighting games, I actually quite like using Tamari. She was one of the few characters I managed to win an online match with. She's primarily a long-range fighter. She just sort of shoots wind all the time at things. I don't remember her being nearly as annoying as Datara, though. His long-range attacks are insanely, stupidly annoying. I think he used to be considered pretty broken in 2, and I think they nerfed him in Generations in 3, but I forget. Weird that I'm talking about Naruto games of all things here, but, I mean, I did kind of have a reason for saying that. Guess I should also mean that say that the Itachi in Kamaitachi is Weasel, and that's what Itachi's name comes from. His name is literally Weasel. I'm surprised anyone trusted him at one point. Vigoroth and Typhlosion. Okay, I guess the theme is a normal type with claws and a starter. Well, not a starter. A normal type with claws and a member of the starter type trio, is what I meant. Tropius obviously isn't a starter. Although I did see one walkthrough recommending using Tropius over Sceptile if you didn't have Sceptile against Wallace, but not that you'd really need that against Wallace. Wallace is... I mean Gym Leader Wallace, not Champion Wallace. Champion Wallace I've always found quite difficult, but Gym Leader Wallace, I find Gym Leader Wallace very easy, personally. I mean, he has a Love Disc. He's a Gym Leader who has a Love Disc. Really, the Melodic is the only good Pokemon on his team. As I said, Champion Wallace is another story entirely. I should have switched out Jumpluff, because that is special in this gen, so it's using Typhlosion's better attacking stat. Don't hit Jumpluff, of course you would. Well, I was wanting a replacement for Jumpluff anyway. 1, because Jumpluff is already high level as it is, and 2, because I need more experience for other Pokemon. So can't believe I went on a tangent about Naruto fighting games in a Pokemon game. I should mention, I don't really watch the show. I actually play the fighting games because they're pretty good. And they're the kind of fighting game that I can actually play because they use sort of Smash Brothers style controls in that you've got one button does one thing and one button does another thing, rather than having to do intricate control stick and button motions just to do certain moves. I mean, I still suck horribly at online play. No thanks to, the last time Endure is still active, so you didn't completely be an idiot and KO your own partner. Yeah, Endure lasts for the entire turn, so you're going to survive everything that I throw at you this turn. You might even try and go for Flail next turn. But anyway, when I tried to play that game online, I found out the hard way that Australia's internet makes any online game that is not turn-based pretty much unplayable. Because the lag is so bad that you cannot get any combos in whatsoever, and you will just die, and you cannot escape from any combos ever. It's not fun. It's really, really not fun. Please fix Australia's internet, even though I don't think they ever will. I mean, I'm getting the National Broadband Network soon, but that's been outdated for years. It's only just been completed, but it's already outdated because... Anyway, probably shouldn't be talking about the way that Australian politicians don't understand technology, but yeah, it's really annoying and stupid. But yeah, I guess the thing about the Naruto fighting games is that I actually consider them to be legitimately better than the anime or manga. Because they condense the story, there's no filler, they actually do some story moments better than the anime and manga do. So... yeah, I actually would recommend playing the games over watching the show. Which is extremely rare, but, because normally it's the exact opposite, but, yeah. Anyway, let's not go on any weird tangent like that again. Just noticed the giant fan in the ceiling. Why were you rubbing your stomach? Okay, that's kind of funny. He dug his way down here. The moustache looks kind of cool, though. I was wondering if any of your Pokemon had Dig, but it looks like they don't really. Giraffe-Rig and Ladian. Not exactly a good combination of Pokemon. But I still have to use the same leads because I'm preparing for the last fight. Now, Jumpluff... I'm just going to go ahead and send Looney in here. I don't think Ice Beam is going to one-shot the Ladian because Special Defense is one of the few things that Ladian is good at. Oh, hey, we get the semi-final battle once more. Magic Coat. Yeah, that was a move that got a lot better in later generations just because Stealth Rock exists. In Gen 3, there's not that much you can reflect with Magic Coat. I barely remember seeing anybody try Magic Coat in competitive in Gen 3, but there's not much that Magic Coat can reflect. For those who don't know, Magic Coat bounces back a lot of non-attacking moves, things like Spikes, Stealth Rock, status-stealing moves. It's kind of an interesting move. It's better on faster Pokemon, though. I was about to suggest Espeon, and then I realized that's useless because Espeon has Magic Bounce in later generations anyway, which is the exact same thing, but an ability. So you don't even need to waste a move slot on it. Houndour, not Houndoom? I question the AI's choices in Pokemon sometimes. You know, that's interesting. I mean, I know that Girafarig is available in Ruby and Sapphire, but I still find it... Girafarig is the kind of Pokemon that you'd think that there'd be a Shadow Pokemon of in this game, but there isn't. It's also kind of cool how they managed to make Girafarig's name a palindrome in both Japanese and in English. I think it's Kirinriki in Japanese. That, I don't... Maybe that was necessary. I mean, Girafarig's a Pokemon that has, kind of mediocre stats, but I still actually kind of like it. Now that I think about it, yeah, so the word for giraffe in Japanese is kirin, which is the same word as a mythological creature that's a crossbreed of a horse and a dragon. And I can understand why, like, they look at a giraffe and think, oh, it's a horse crossed with a dragon, because, yeah, it's a horse with a really, really long neck. Kind of makes sense. Now I think about it, I wonder what the Japanese word for platypus is. Unless it's just, like, platypus. Oh, Endeavor. There is actually a Dodrio in Battle Revolution that uses a variant on the Fear strategy. It has Endure, Endeavor, and Quick Attack. The problem is the AI doesn't know how to use that strategy properly, and they often use the moves in the wrong order. Like, they'll often Endure and then end up using Quick Attack straight away without using Endeavor, or they'll use Endeavor first. It's, yeah, not exactly all that great. Well, that and your Pokemon are kind of bad. And now, it is time. The long-awaited return of the Disco Lord. You can already see him from this far away. It is time for Mirror B to resurrect Disco once more. And guess what? His old theme is back! I like this. After he switched to the normal admin battle theme back in Railgun Tower, here I guess he's just more having fun, but, well, I mean, he likes to think he's going seriously, but yeah. He's using his normal battle theme here, which is pretty awesome. And yeah, this is why I led with Suicune and Jumpluff, because for this fight, Mirror B is back to his old tricks. He uses mainly Ludicolos now. He's got rid of his more diverse team than he had before. So let's see. I wonder if I can preemptively use Surf, predicting that Ludicolo to use Rain Dance. I don't know. I'll just go ahead and Ice Beam the X-Cloud. Oh, I missed this song. Guess we haven't heard this song since we fought Mirror B for the first time, unless you count Miracle B's weird version of it. Guess since I was talking about Japanese yokai in this episode, Golduck. Ludicolo is very obviously based on... Although, okay, it is pretty funny. Look up Ludicolo on Bulbapedia and read its basis section. It's really hilarious. It basically says, like, Ludicolo is possibly based on a kappa, a pineapple, a duck, and a stereotypical depiction of someone from Mexico. It's pretty amazing, just the number of things that Ludicolo combines into one Pokemon. But yeah, it is a Mexican kappa duck pineapple. I would like to have been there for the board meeting where Game Freak suggested Ludicolo. And Ludicolo is actually not a bad Pokemon. It's actually had some competitive... Yeah, of course you're going to use Rain Dance. It wouldn't be a Mirror B fight without Rain Dance. I think it would be kind of cool, though, if Mirror B went for a full-on dance-themed team. Kind of like the kind of thing that I wish that it's... Tierno, right. I almost got his name confused with Trevor, because that should show you how memorable I find the X and Y rivals, but I guess I shouldn't be too negative here. But yeah, I always wish that he used a full team of Pokemon that all had dance moves. And in a way he does, because he does use a... Okay, you definitely have Swift Swim. He does use a Talonflame, which has Feather Dance, I think, and he uses something that has Swords Dance and something that has Petal Dance, but I still wish he had used a full team of 6 and they all had various dance moves, especially like a Volcarona with Quiver Dance. But anyway, Mirror B should use a team like that. That would have been cool. Although I think that in the second fight, his Armaldo does have Swords Dance. Also, Luna no longer has Snatch, so I can't Steel Dance. Level 65, wow. Yeah, the levels here spike up pretty quickly. I might struggle with some of the later fights here, although the fact that you get to use a full team of 6 for them and you get healed for every battle does make these a lot less difficult than they probably would be. But even still, the levels can overpower you quite easily. Okay, the one that's already damaged I think is the one that has Swift Swim, but I'm not sure. At this point, I'm really not sure what to do here. Because Dan Green is going to get destroyed by Hydro Pumps in Rain. And Surf is double not very effective. Yeah, that is the Swift Swim one, obviously. Unless they're both Swift Swim. We'll see if the second one is Swift Swim as well. Yeah, even resisted Pokemon. Hydro Pump can still overpower you in Rain. Yeah, the fact that you can still use items in these fights too makes them a lot less troublesome than they probably would be. Wish I had a strong flying move here. Or bug, but there aren't many strong bug types in there. Yeah, I thought the second Ludicolo would be an annoying one. For now, though, I'm going to ignore you, and I think I'm going to switch out Suicune. Because that'll get rid of the Leech Seed, and it will also mean that I'm switching out someone who's not really going to be damaging. Although, I'm doing quite a bit of damage with my Ice Beams. Giga Drain is neutral against these Ludicolos. Although, Jump Off is probably going to get, yeah, let's go out to Soul, just because in the absence of any super effective moves, I'm going to want just to overpower them with sheer, well, power. Probably could also kick them in the face with Kick Face, because I, once again, just remembered that grass doesn't resist fighting. It's annoying that I keep thinking that, but... Okay, that wasn't a one-shot, that's good. The other one... Actually, wait, no, it hasn't moved yet. It probably is going to die, we'll see. I don't think your opponent used items here. Oh, Giga Drain, okay. Well, that's obviously aimed at Suicune. And I'm kind of glad you... Well, actually, it doesn't really matter. I was about to say I'm glad that you KO'd me, because that means you don't get Leech Seed healing, but you're at full health anyway, so Leech Seed doesn't really do anything. Let's just send in Kick Face. Yeah, Rain is still up, so I'm glad I didn't send Dan Green in there. That thing is still Swift Swim. Gotta remember that. So, Soul's gonna get outspared and probably Hydro Pumped. I need to heal Soul this turn. Where are my Hyper Potions? They're at the bottom. There we go. I don't think Amulet Coins affect your prize money from Colosseum. You're just going for Giga Drain, not Hydro Pump. I don't know why you're doing that. I mean, no, you wouldn't be out of Hydro Pump at this point, would you? I say that a lot. I'm bad at counting PP in this game. Oh yeah, Ludicolo has great special defense. Forgot about that. However, okay, no more Rain. That's good. It means that Soul is now going to outspeed you. But you can see just how fast Ludicolos get with Swift Swim. These aren't even Buizel's. Wait, Floatzel. Yeah, the evolved one. I mean, both of them are pretty fast under Swift Swim Rain, but Floatzel is definitely the, Also, this totally isn't relevant here, but Buizel's name pun doesn't work if you're not American, because we call, what Americans pronounce as buoys, we pronounce boy. So, it would be Buizel, which doesn't sound like weasel at all. It's kind of like Ghastly. So, I mean, like the lowest form of Gengar. If you pronounce it the American way, Ghastly, it has a pun on gas, but that's lost if you're not American. because I pronounce it ghastly. I mean, it still makes sense because, like, a ghast is, like, a word for, like, a type of spirit sometimes, but anyway. Oh, yeah, here's the annoying thing about Leech Seed, is that it still persists even after... You didn't set up Rain again, did you? Good, okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and cycle... You know, that's a new Ludicolo, isn't it? I'm pretty sure that's a new Ludicolo. Probably should pay more attention to the game itself and less on my commentary for a second, but... X-Defend? This is before they change it to X-Defense. I don't know why they did that, but still. I guess because it fits with the stat. Can I finish off this Armaldo this turn, then? I believe in you, Kickface. Do it! Kick this thing in the face! Mainly I just don't want to take a Silver Wind. Good, nice one, even through that X-Defend. Didn't know that Mirror B could use X-Defense. Okay, we've got this Ludicolo left on the field. Oh, it didn't do anything because he used double X-Defense. But this should hopefully fall to these two attacks, provided that I don't miss High Jump Kick. So, or, I mean, maybe this won't. I mean, Armaldo had better defense than Ludicolo, so yeah, just gonna finish it off. So, Mirror B is down. That wasn't so bad. But as you can tell, still no leads on the Shadow Shuckle. So, we have quite a way to go in the Deep Colosseum. And you will probably be happy to hear that these admin fights, they cycle, and you can rematch these people as much as you want. So, we can forever hear that theme if we want to. That is a lot of money. And TM12. Yeah, we still get TMs here. I'm pretty sure that's Taunt. I'll check that email in a second, but let me just quickly check the TM. Yes, it is Taunt. Taunt is a little annoying in that you only get the TM for it in the post-game. This is why that you don't want to delete Umbreon's Taunt, because you can't get it back until the post-game. So let's see what the email was. Deep King? Question mark? So there's a rumor about it. There's supposed to be a seriously tough trainer who goes by the name of Deep King. So we'll have to investigate into that later. Also, I like how there's no one actually manning this healing machine. We can just use it ourselves. We'll need to play through more rounds of this Colosseum to find out about the Deep King, so it will be time for round 2 next. So, time to move on to the next round. So, following Mirror B is going to be Dakin, so we want Pokemon in our lead spots who can handle him reasonably well. And I definitely want Suicune here. The problem is that, as much as I would really like to use the Helping Hand Surf strategy, Soul's frailty is really showing this late into the game. Soul's not going to survive Earthquakes very well, but I really don't have many other good options. I mean, I could go for Jumpluff again, but I don't really know if Jumpluff will be the most useful against him. I guess I'll lead with Soul and Suicune this time. So let's enter the second knockout challenge. It's kind of funny because they're effectively asking the same question twice. I think if you say no to entering with the Pokemon in your party now, it just boots you out. It's like you said no to taking the challenge. So it's basically like, do you want to take the challenge as you are now? Yes, no. Then, do you want to take the challenge as you are now? Yes, no. And anyway. Back to the deep. That gigantic fan. How did all these people get down here, by the way? I know that a lot of people were questioning in the comments how everyone got into the crowd of Welcome Towers Colosseum, because the only ways into that place are the 2 elevators that lead directly into the arena. Ah, Sneasel, how you wish Weavile existed in this generation. Well, I mean, Weavile did actually cameo in the anime before. Yeah, it was interesting. This is actually not good for Soul, but I can try to just hit that thing with return. Gen 3 was interesting because they cameoed a ton of Gen 4 Pokemon before. Oh, I really wish my Jumpluff had that. That would be amazing. But yeah, they cameoed a lot of Gen 4 Pokemon before Gen 4 came out. I'm actually glad for that, because Soul wouldn't have been doing much damage to you anyway. But yeah, I believe they cameoed Bonsly, Mime Jr., Lucario, Weavile. I think that's all of them, but they cameoed a lot of Gen 4 Pokemon. It's like in later generations, usually they only ever cameo one Pokemon from the future generation, and usually it's a mythical at that. But in Gen 3, they just seem to really want to advertise Gen 4. This will become significant in XD, but I'll talk about that when we get there. Because XD did something particularly interesting with future gen cameos. Something that I don't think they've ever done before. I'm just trying to remember all of the later gen cameos. Like in Gen 1, I know that they cameoed Meryl and Donphan in the first movie. Gen 2, they cameoed Blaziken at the end of the Johto anime, which I only remember because someone in the comments pointed out to me. I forgot about that. And was there any... Oh, they cameoed Kecleon as well, I think. And then Gen 3, like I described. Gen 4... Was Zoroark the only Pokemon they cameoed? I still feel really bad for Zoroark. They were clearly trying to emulate the success of Lucario, and they just weren't able to. Zoroark just never really became that popular the way Lucario did. And, like, it's not bad stat-wise, but it's something that's just not used that often. It's like partly because Team Preview came out in the same generation that it did, so the surprise factor is kind of ruined. But okay, I guess I can go on this tangent. I guess this tangent is slightly relevant. Is that Team Preview, when Gen 5 came around, so many competitive battlers made such a huge deal out of Team Preview. They're like, oh, this changes everything. Now you can actually see your opponent's team before you battle them. And so that ruins so much surprise factor tactics, and it devalues like the value of leads so much and things like that. But I was one who always played competitive battles in either a Stadium or Colosseum game or Battle Revolution, which is actually a Stadium or Colosseum game. So yeah, so in the 3D Pokemon battlers, I didn't really do much competitive battling in the actual games, because in Gen 4 that required exchanging friend codes online, because there were no random online battles on the original games in Gen 4. Gotta ignore that Delibird, because it's probably the least threat here. It'd be funny if you actually got a healing present. So anyway, in all of the 3D console Stadium battlers, Team Preview was there by default, so I was used to it. I didn't get what the big deal was when it was added in Gen 5, because that's how I'd always played, so it never really affected me. But anyway, I'm probably in a minority when I'm like that. Anyway. Both of us just barely on the cusp of leveling up. Walrein. Ice Ball. That's kind of funny that it's depicted as kind of like a physical move, even though it's special in this gen. I'm obviously going to Psychic the Walrein. Don't use Ice Beam on Walrein, by the way. Actually, kind of have potentially a... No. Is it only a thick... I forget if it has two abilities. I know that one of its abilities is thick fat, but anyway. So, it's water and ice, so it's 4 times resistant to ice normally, but it also has thick fat, which gives it effectively an additional ice resistance. So... Yeah, one of the Pokemon that has... It's kind of like the inverse of Parasect with Dry Skin, which has a 5 times weakness to fire. Walrein would have a 5 times... Actually, like, wouldn't it be like a 6 times resistance? Because it's like an extra resistance... I don't know. Oh, we didn't get to see the full belly slide. I like when the camera just focuses fully on Walrein doing a belly slide, which I saw that animation a lot in some of these games when I would use my Walrein. Once again, Gust is my best option. Actually, wait, no, I'm pretty sure that Surf would do more. But it doesn't matter because the Walrein is down anyway. Is it just me, or are these battles going by faster than the ones in the first round? They're worth a lot of experience. I probably should have put the experience share on someone. Because that is one of the easiest ways to train Pokemon in a game where everything is double battles, because a Pokemon with the XP share, even if they're in battle, they always get, like, basically they'd get half the experience and half again, so they effectively get double what they do normally if they're in battle, and if they're not in battle, they still get, like, they get half the total experience, and then the remaining half is halved between the two that are currently in battle, if that makes any sense. So it's like if a Pokemon is worth 2,000 experience, and you've got 2 Pokemon in battle and 1 has the EXP share in reserve, the EXP share Pokemon will get 1,000, and the 2 that are in battle will each get 500. At least I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Azumarill and Xatu, interesting combination. Again, Azumarill got a lot better in later generations when it had more reliable physical moves to use with huge power. Azumarill here is just kind of a mediocre tank Pokemon, really. I guess I'll Ice Beam with Xatu. Xatu is a Pokemon that I didn't know about its base stats for a long time. I always thought that it was a bulky Pokemon. I always thought that it was focused on defenses, and then I looked at its stats, and it turns out that it's actually a fragile sweeper, which surprised me. Although it did get magic bounds in later gens. Oh, right. Okay, so unlike Curse, Belly Drum can't cause you to knock yourself out. You'll always, the move will just fail if you're at below half HP. That's particularly important, I think, if you're running certain types of movesets that rely on using both Substitute and Belly Drum. Because if you get, I think, no, if you use one sub, then, yeah, but I know there are certain, like, you need to, speaking of which, Linu. Due to Gluttony, you need to make sure that you've set your HP to just the right value, so that if you use Belly Drum once, you'll activate your berry. Although I noticed that, apparently, Gluttony, Belly Drum, Linoons usually don't use... Because I would have thought that they'd use things like Lychee Berry or Salak Berry. But, actually probably more Lychee Berry because Extreme Speed, that'd just ignore the speed anyway. But I would have thought they'd use that more often, but no, it seems like they use Citrus Berry more often than not. That or one of the new 50% recover berries. This will probably not be enough to KO, let's see. I really hope you don't have Shadow Ball, but then again, you are an in-game meta champ, so you probably just have random... You do have Shadow Ball! I was about to say, but double then again, Colosseum trainers usually have smarter movesets. Yeah, see, this is why you want to teach Shadow Ball to meta champ. Mine is probably not going to outspeed, but I could try. I could try and do a Metachamp versus Metachamp fight and prove which is the superior Metachamp. Or I could just gust it. No, mine is faster. Nice one. Don't exactly know how effort points work on opposing trainers. I don't know if these Pokemon are EV trained or not. I know that the ones in the battle mode are EV trained, but the ones here, I'm just not sure. Also not fully sure how IVs work. Like, I know that in some of the main series Pokemon games, random trainers will usually have set IVs on their Pokemon. Wow, I'm at the final round in only 10 minutes. This has been a lot faster. And yes, as you can see, it's taken. But yeah, usually it's like normal trainers have like either like 5 or 0 IVs on everyone. Straight and to the point, I see. Gym leaders have like 20 or 25 everything. Elite 4 have around that too, and the champion has 31 everything, or 30 everything. And then villainous team leaders have kind of high IVs and everything too. Hey, you finally evolved your Marshtomp. Well, actually, you didn't even use your Marshtomp in your second fight. I still find it weird that, because he had a Marshtomp in his first fight. And... okay, then. I need to actually pay attention here. But he had a Marshtomp in his first fight, and yet he has a Whiscash in the second fight, and kind of feel like he should have had Swampert in the second fight, but oh well. I guess I should... Something tells me that if I go for Rain Dance, the Solrock is going to use Sunny Day, so let's... What? I've never seen him do that before. Earthquake has perfect accuracy anyway, so what are you doing? Are you trying to, like... Are you trying to counter... Double Team or something? Anyway... You obviously didn't get a chance to use any Sunny Day because, well, you used X accuracies. I'm now a little bit thrown off. Let's, Okay, well, I think I've solved the issue of whether or not the admins in here use full restores or not. I guess me using items is fine then, because the opponents are using it too. I don't think Suicune Surf is going to finish this thing. We'll find out. Okay, going for Earthquake then. I do have the Reflect up, but please don't crit Soul. Good. Yeah, that probably would have KO'd me if I hadn't used Reflect. Daykim is still the same Earthquake spamming self that he was before. But I think I'm gonna be able to... Yeah, no, let's be safe. Let's just go for this and not go for a Rain Dance, because I want to get them both off the field now. probably the main way Soul will be surviving. Swampwurt's another one of those Pokemon that has kind of a depressing looking fading animation to me. And there's Flygon. I still have my Ice Beam user active, so that's good. And it's going to take a bit of a surf. I guess because I led with Jumpluff, that might have slowed things down last time, because Jumpluff is not exactly the most offensive Pokemon. I mean, neither is Suicune, really, but... Well, let's just use a Calm Mind. What do you got next? Claydol! Two things that are weak to Ice Beam. I guess most efficient use of my time would be to Psychic the Flygon and then Ice Beam the Claydol, but I really want to get rid of that Flygon, and I don't think I need Helping Hand, so I'm going to go ahead and switch you out for... I could use Kick Face, but no, I'll just use Splinter. And I'll just Ice Beam that Flygon. Now, I wonder if that Flygon will outspeed Suicune or not. We'll see. There's... Yeah, it is outspeeding. And there's Earthquake. Not that it's really going to do all that much. Yeah, he's not even going for Protect at all this time. He's just using Levitate Partners. Something that I got an idea for when seeing someone's comment. It's about the Mount Battle Master and his Pinsir, and them saying that it's a good thing that Mold Breaker doesn't exist in this generation, because Pinsir using Mold Breaker, if it had Mold Breaker, would have hit its Claydol partner with Earthquake. I just thought of a really funny strategy. Well, it's definitely not a serious strategy. I don't recommend using this in any kind of... Dakem? 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 Really? Really? You just chuggered yourself. I had to reference that. Seriously. Yeah, Dakem, again, he's not really all that smart sometimes. But yeah, no, the silly strategy was skill-swapping Mold Breaker onto a Pokemon that's using Earthquake while their partner has Levitate. Bonus points if said partner is Electros, because that would be really hilarious. But yeah, it's just purely a joke strategy. It's not going to work the vast majority of the time, but if somebody can actually show me a video of someone doing that, I'd be pretty impressed. Well, more amused than impressed, because it's more of a fun joke strategy than anything else, but it's still pretty funny. So anyway, Dakem, after earthquaking his own fire type into oblivion, just like he did in a certain infamous moment in another playthrough of this game, we have beaten round 2, and yeah, that was at least 10 minutes faster than round 1 was. So maybe it was just using Soul. So, once again, a really fat stack of cash, and TM48. Yeah, I thought we'd get another email. But, firstly, I'm going to check out what that TM was. 48 is... Skill... Oh! Wow. I didn't mean that. I didn't know the reward for this was Skill Swap. So, that coincided with my commentary very well. I guess you can use this to do that. Even though Mold Breaker doesn't exist in this gen. Anyway, let's check out what the email was. Let's go to the email, and let's see. Deep... Oh, I love that Deep King! Deep King! With an exclamation mark. Slowly. Yeah, that was helpful. That was really helpful. Good information gathering skills there. Oh, I just realized I didn't even need to use the healing machine last time because you get fully healed after every round anyway. So with that, we've completed 2 rounds of the Deep Colosseum. I think that'll be enough for one video. It depends on how quick the next round goes, and considering that the next round is Venus, it will probably take a while. But yeah, that'll probably be enough for this video, so I will see you next time for more Deep Colosseum.